Gray, did you get all that? Don't think for a second I'm going to start calling you by your full name. For me, you'll always be Gray, so don't get a swelled head, Vlad said. Sergey Ingram laughed heartily. No, I wasn't thinking of getting a swelled head at all. So will all of us be there? All 27? Sergey asked. Listen, not everyone. Valerie Ingram recently gave birth abroad. She said she really wanted to be there, but the baby is too young for travel, and she can't leave him. And Kate, remember Kate? Of course I remember. What about her? We couldn't find her. She just vanished into thin air. Where they used to live, there are other people now. And at the institute where she studied, nobody knows anything either. Well, it's not surprising. So many years have passed, Sergey remarked. Yes, she probably moved away. Possibly. As for everyone bringing their wives or husbands, that's up to them. Annie said she's coming alone, just to get a break from her husband and 3 kids. No way. Our beauty has 3. Oh, you'll see her. You definitely won't recognize her. From a fragile beauty, she's turned into a true heroic mother, stout and proper. Sergey burst out laughing. No, I won't believe it. Remember how she always caused a fuss in the cafeteria about unhealthy food? I remember, of course, it was so annoying. We just wanted to eat everything quickly, even if it was tasteless, and then rush around the school. Exactly. And our Miss Eugenie always said we were hindering Anna's personality development. Sergey laughed again. His classmate had called so unexpectedly that Sergey didn't immediately recognize their school activist, Slav. Then he didn't quite grasp what Slav wanted from him. But after a moment, he was delighted. Lately, Sergey had been feeling bored. Big changes were on the horizon, with a wedding soon, but somehow, it felt dull. He couldn't quite put his finger on what was wrong. Everything was measured, predictable. And Liz. There just weren't any sparks between them. Perhaps they weren't at the right age? And it was probably his fault. Liz was only 23. He was almost 40. He had seen it all, tried it all, except for family life. Sergey sat for a little longer. He needed to go see Liz, tell her about the reunion, and tell her to get ready. He wanted everyone to be shocked by how beautiful his fiancée was. Sergey Ingram stepped out of his office. Julie, I don't have anything important today, do I? That's correct, sir. You have a free day today. Julie, then I'm off. Very good, Mr. Ingram. I'll call if anything comes up. He nodded, went down to his car. Liz was still living in the apartment he rented for her. She would have moved in with him long ago, even insisted on it. But he had a peculiar hang-up. A fiancé should live separately until the wedding. Liz would roll her eyes, saying it was complete nonsense. But Sergey was adamant, and truth be told, he didn't even know why himself. He parked his car by the building where Liz's apartment was located. He got out and immediately entered the building, opening the door with his own key. Strange, there were someone else's sneakers in the hallway, and they definitely weren't women's. Sergey walked into the living room, then opened the bedroom door. Liz was in bed, and she wasn't alone. She was very busy, so engrossed that she didn't even notice him at first. Oh, Sergey. She pushed away the muscular young man, jumped up, and wrapped herself in the sheet. Sergey, it's not at all what you think. It was him. He forced me. The young man stared at her in surprise, then shifted his gaze to Sergey. He must have recognized him, because he instantly paled. I didn't force her. I didn't want to at all, the young man stammered. Sergey suddenly burst out laughing. Don't worry, Liz. I adhere to the principle that women should not be hit. Even those like you. Sergey turned and walked toward the exit. She caught up to him at the door, clinging to him. Sergey, darling, please forgive me. You never have time for me. Please, forgive me. I see you're not bored. You're certainly making good use of your time. Sergey, but I love you. I can't live without you. He laughed again. You can't live without me, or without my money. Liz, stop it. And don't forget, the rent for the apartment is due next week. As he walked to his car, he blocked Liz's card and decided he needed to get drunk. His heart felt as if all the cats in the city had defiled it. He pulled up to the first restaurant he saw with parking. He'd leave the car there and go inside for a drink. He'd try to forget Liz and simply reset himself. He sat at the smallest table. He really didn't want anyone to join him, although it was a weekday and there were very few people in the restaurant. A waiter immediately rushed to him. What would you like? A drink and something light to eat. Sergey methodically poured and drank. He didn't want to think about anything. A violinist played softly in the restaurant. An hour later, He went to the restroom. When he came out, he saw a strange scene. Hey, don't fill that bucket to the brim. You'll spill it all. Waiters were clustered in the corridor, laughing at the cleaning lady who was polishing the floors, or rather, was about to. Sergei didn't understand what was going on at first, but then she started to walk, and he saw that she limped. Quite noticeably. So that's what had caused the young people's mockery. Sergei couldn't stand it when the weak were bullied, even though he was a businessman. What is going on here? The waiters stood at attention. Few in this city didn't know Sergei Ingram. What do you think you're doing, you brats? You could have helped her carry the bucket. Sergei took the bucket. Where do you want me to take it? The woman looked up at him, and he nearly dropped the bucket. Kate, she sighed. I guess I'll have to quit again. Sergei put down the bucket and grabbed her hand. Kate, it's me, Sergei. Yes, I recognized you, I did. You've never come to this restaurant before. Sergei looked at the waiters. Get rid of that bucket and find someone to clean this area. Or call the owner, I don't care. And bring another setting for my table. The waiters nodded and rushed to obey. Kate, shall we go? I don't understand anything at all. Let's go. You won't give up anyway. You've always been persistent. They sat at the table. Kate pulled off her headscarf, and her magnificent hair cascaded over her shoulders. She instantly transformed beyond recognition. Kate, time has no power over you at all. She smiled sadly. For me, time? Well, another day gone, and that's fine, she said. I don't recognize you. What's wrong? You were always so energetic, so joyful. When was that? She mused. It's commonly thought that children are the cruelest, but it turns out they're not. There's no one crueler than adults. Sergei still didn't understand anything. The waiters brought a second-place setting and stood, awaiting instructions. Katie, would you like some brandy or wine? She gave him a cheerful look. Oh, you won't give up anyway, so wine. A minute later, Sergei raised his glass. To our reunion. To you. After a while, he said, Kate, you know I won't let it go. What happened? Why are you working as a cleaning lady here? You were studying, weren't you? I remember they said you were the best in your class. So what happened? Kate smiled sadly. Yes, I was the best. And my very first project was a huge success because I did it online for a remote client. And the second too. That is, until I arrived on site. The clients were a young couple. And they, in front of everyone who came with me, made fun of me. Everyone asked, how are you going to run up and down floors if only one of your legs steps and the other just hops? That was the first time. I swallowed it. Then there was a second, a third. I gave up my beloved profession and went to work somewhere I could just sit. There, I met a guy. Or rather, he met me. He would sit for hours and just look at me for hours. He spoke so many beautiful words, asked me out on dates. I suspected something like that might happen, but to have it happen in front of all my colleagues as I was walking toward him, you can't imagine how painful words can sting when you've already trusted someone, when you've fallen in love. But I'm stubborn. I rested, recovered, and went back to work, though at a different place. There, everything happened even faster. My boss took an interest in me. He was so persistent, sang me such sweet songs. I stood up in front of him and walked somewhere. He followed me with his gaze, grimaced, and fired me the next day. As Kate spoke, Sergei tapped his fingers on the table. When she finished, he looked at her. And you decided it was easier to just hide. Exactly. I didn't have money for surgery anyway, so this was the best option. Surgery? Is it something that can be operated on? Well, of course, it's congenital, and it's not always possible to operate. Mine? I had a bad fall off a bicycle as a child, then I ended up with a bad doctor, then something else went wrong. And then my parents decided it was all useless. Time was lost, but when I became an adult, everything changed. And such an operation now costs as much as a 2-bedroom apartment in the city center. Sergei looked at her grimly. Why didn't you come to me? We were friends in school. Kate laughed. And how do you imagine that? Gray, lend me a couple of million. Why would you? Kate, that's just not right. There are people around you. She raised her eyes. Are you sure about that? Everyone probably loves you, smiles at you. But have you ever wondered why? Don't get your hopes up. It's not because you're a good person at all, but simply because you have money, power. Without that, you're not interesting to anyone. Sergei wanted to argue, but then he lowered his head, remembering Liz. Kate, where are you even living now? And everything else? I live alone. My father left the family when I grew up, and my mother passed away. Though my father, I don't know. I haven't kept track of him. I see. Then go and write your resignation letter. We're leaving. Kate looked up, surprised. Where? To my place for now, and we'll decide from there. No buts. Or have you stopped trusting me? Kate looked into his eyes for a long time. Once in school, they had been very close, just friends, nothing more. And now, she really wanted to believe that the Sergei she knew hadn't changed. All right, she said, and stood up resolutely. At his place, they talked for a long time. Kate argued and refused, but Sergei insisted. Sergei, this is nonsense. Why? Let's break it down. Are you hoping to find a love that will make your heart flutter? No, but I certainly won't find that kind of love. After what Liz did, I don't trust anyone. But I trust you. We've known each other for 100 years. We know each other better than anyone, and we've always found it interesting to be together. Tell me, do even half of married couples have that? Kate stood up. But that's wrong. So, you think it would be more right for me to marry Liz, whom I caught in bed with another man? No. If you really think so, I'll go to her right now and tell her everything's fine. Sergei stood up. Kate looked at him, frightened. Well, that's unfair. There's nothing fair in this life at all. In short, will you agree to marry me? I won't rush you into marital duties, but we will get there, and we'll have a wonderful, strong family. I'm sure of it. And you know, with every passing minute, I become more confident. The school reunion was moved to the city's most expensive restaurant, the very one where Sergei and Kate had met. Classmates stood in corners, examining the tables. Annie, do you know why everything was moved here? How should I know? Oh, this all looks like it costs a fortune. Why aren't they starting? I'm already hungry. The man standing nearby laughed. Annie, I see you've forgotten all about healthy eating. She sighed. Oh, when you're bothered all day by 3 kids, and then your husband joins them in the evening, you just want to devour anything. The main thing is to do it quickly. The man laughed, then said, Oh, I see. That's our sponsor. And who's he with? Kate. It's definitely her. Slav darted from his spot. Katie, hi. I couldn't find you. Sergei, you scoundrel. You found her, and kept quiet. Sergei looked at Slav pointedly. Well, actually, Catherine is my wife. Slav looked at him dejectedly. So, when I told you I couldn't find her, you were laughing at me? No, I found her myself that very evening. Completely by chance. Wait, so only 3 weeks have passed, and she's already your wife? Sergei smiled. That's right, Slavic. The celebration was in full swing when Kate went to powder her nose. She walked past the waiters, and they immediately started asking, one after another, Do you need anything? Shall we escort you? She smirked. Is it really possible for clothes and a hairstyle to change a person so much? The waiters' faces stretched, and they exchanged